Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. My name is Khalifah Mastura binti Khalid from College Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah. And this video, we are going to talk about blog. Okay, how I use blog in my teaching and learning. Alright, so this one is part 1 and we're going to have another one which is part 2. Alright, so part 1 will be focusing on the PowerPoint presentation only. Okay, now I would like to highlight the objective of this program. The first one is to investigate learners' perceptions on their writing development based on the journal writing activities. So the keywords are journal writing activities. Okay, number 2, to explore the potential of blogs in collecting feedback on the teaching and learning. Okay, blogs, collecting feedback, meaning that we are going to get the reflection from the student on our teaching and on their learning. Okay, number 3, to reflect on the outcome of teaching and learning based on learners' reflective journal writing. So here the keyword is reflective journal writing. Okay, so now the keywords, the big word or the big question mark is why blog? Why am I using blog? Alright, so we can see here, you can read on your own. There are many advantages of using blogs in our teaching and learning session. Alright, the first one is blog writing is informal. So they won't be so stressful when they are asked to write about their feelings, about what they have learned from their lesson and so on and so forth. Okay, introverted students, shy students, they don't like to share face to face. So ask them to write using blog or whatsoever. Okay, they will write it freely. Okay, and there are so many more advantages of using blog in our teaching and learning session. And the most important thing for me is blog will take the pressure off writing. Okay, and give your students a voice in a safe environment where they can just write what they are feeling, and did they enjoy the lesson or did they not enjoy the lesson, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now this is the project overview. Okay, I will just read it briefly. This innovation is on writing reflections and getting feedback from students after each activity. Okay, the lecturer can enhance her next activity based on the feedback given and not only from her own observation. Students express themselves better after they get used to writing comments via blog. After each activity, learners were required to post reflections on the teaching and learning practices and classroom experience, including the teaching method they learned and their opinions, and optionally make comments on their peers' messages. All the learners have to do is to click on the link provided at the end of the blog post, and they are able to write responses or reflection to what the instructor has initiated in topics and concerns on her blog. Okay, so that is the project overview. Hope you understand that, and I think you will understand better once I explain more on this. Okay, so you can see here, this is my blog address, https /masturasport.blogspot. Okay, and this is the code. You just scan the QR code and then you go directly to my blog. All right, and this is the front page or the interface of my blog. And once you get it here, I can see there are many lists of categories here, and for this purpose, please go to the label My Students or Students, where in these two labels I have everything on what I did with my students. Okay, all right, next I can see here also how I did with the blog writing. Okay, first, before we start the class, for example, if by tomorrow I have one class, the day before or the night before, I will write an entry in my blog. Okay, I will write an entry in my blog. For example, like this: block journey with Madam Mas and blah, 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 blah. And I will inform the student they have to read the entry in the blog. Okay, and then when we enter the class tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening, the next day, okay, we will do the normal teaching and learning. All right, and we have project, we have activities. Okay, 10 minutes before the class end, the student will be requested to write their reflection on the activities done. Okay, so 10 minutes before the class ends, they will go to my blog and they will write what they think of the activities. Was the activity bored? Were they bored with the activities? Or did they enjoy the activities and everything and so on and so forth? Okay, all right. Okay, here in the entry, learners are guided with prompting questions or points in order to help them write their self-reflections or comment. So in a very brief word, we can say that they are fully guided. Okay. Right. Next, you can see here. Okay, these are some of the self-reflection written by the learners. Self-reflection or comments by learners. Okay. All right. So this is from. I can't read. Who is this? Azam, I think. Okay. Hi, Madam Mas. I didn't write a blog before, and I seldom read the blog. I just read my cousin's blog before this. Okay. All right. So you can do on your own letter. Okay, next. Okay, this is an instruction. I'll always give instruction to the viewers or even the students if you want to log into my blog. All right, first, log into the URL given, https://masturasport.blogspot.com. Okay, viewers or readers will be able to see the blog heading and title. Browse through the label of category listed so that searching for interested entries will be easier, as bloggers will always label their entries under categories. Okay, just like what I did, just like what I showed just now. Okay. Once read, viewers or readers can share their responses or views by clicking the comment section and start writing. They can use their own names or remain as anonymous. But in my case, I will ask them to write their own name so that I can give marks to them. Because if they use anonymous, I will know who has written this and who has written that. Okay, and this is just for the viewers or readers. If they are not interested to give comments or respond to the blog entry, reading will be good enough to gain knowledge or new information on certain sharing. But for my student, it is compulsory for them to write. Okay, and then we can see here, learner's self-reflection. Okay, so the usage of blog in ESL classroom. This will be my entry, instructor's blog entry. For example, the project or the activity done was mind mapping via GD. GD stands for Google Drive. Okay, so this was what they did. All right, and then these are the learners' comments. Right, you can see Anis Bushra, you can see Nurul Izzah, Afif, Akmal, and so on and so forth. Okay, and this one is EWO project with E2T7 stroke 8. EWO is essay writing online. Okay, all right, so I will always update the entry. All right, for example, here this is the project on gallery walk. Okay, I'll update with their photos or their pictures. This is what they have been doing in class during my lesson. And then after that, 10 minutes, like I said just now, 10 minutes before the class ends, okay, they will have to write their reflection. Okay, so this is another activity, our hope tree. Okay. All right. So before we go to the real session of tutorial of creating a blog as well as getting into my blog personally, okay, I will share the findings or the impact of using blog in my teaching and learning. First, okay, they enjoy writing informally for others to read. This is what I get from them because I will always have a questionnaire for them to answer. Okay, I will have some interview session with them to get some feedback on the project or the program that I did with them. Okay, all right. Next, number two, encourage authentic writing practice. This one to enable students to recycle language input and learn in the classroom. Provide an alternative way of communicating with instructors and peers, and create a collaborative learning environment. Okay, so instead of just speaking face to face, they can also communicate with me as their instructor and with their friend or peers using blog. All right, and they can always comment and respond to each other's messages or comments. Okay, and they express their relief that their voices are taken into consideration. All right, so they know that I always take note of what they have commented. For example, they say that they do not like this activity because it's rather slow and it's not they don't really understand what they need to do. Okay, meaning that we will discuss on the better activities for them to carry on. Okay. All right, review the learner's recommendation to improve the use of blog as their learning journals. Okay, they always give recommendations or recommend something for better improvement of the blog. Proven that the ignorance of writing mechanics allow the learners to share their ideas better. Okay, meaning that here we are talking about informal writing. Some people say that, okay, you have to write based on the rules given, the rules of or the writing mechanics given. Okay, as for me, informal is much better. Sometimes when you are actually encouraging them to write, so let it be just write, and then they will get the writing mechanic as they write along the way, right? And then becoming a motivating source for learners' personal development. They realize that, okay, when they start using blog with me, they managed to write only a few sentences. They were very scared. But as time goes by, they were very happy because they can just write a paragraph just like that, they don't really have to think for hours to write, but the idea came just like that. That's what they said. Okay. All right, so there are more of that, and then supporting the great innovation of paperless and sky is the limit. Why sky is the limit? Because you can just write anything you have in mind. Okay, and paperless, of course, and green innovation. Why we call it green innovation? We don't have to print out. Okay, everything will be readable online. Okay. Use of blog as a platform to critically reflect on their learning processes as well as to gauge the impact of blogs on their own personal development. Okay, from here we can say that I will get some support, I will get some comment from the student, and on the student side, they will learn on how to write better, and they can get better confidence. The confidence level is higher, and they are very positive. Okay, so last but not least, we can say that from talk and talk and from face-to-face environment, we are now moving to social networks and online tools. Okay, and here actually we have a shared social learning, yeah, of course, and online presenting, collaborating and connecting in the club where we don't lose anything. Okay, so as for that, I will stop, and then we will meet again in the next video on part 2. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.